Welcome back. Starting out the day. No, not starting out the day. Today is November 25th at 1:27 p.m. So not the start of the day this time. Just came from church with the wife. Beautiful wife right there. The Sabbath day. And now we're going to get into Proverbs 25. And 25, the title is Advice for Kings. And I like to think of kings, or when it refers to kings here, as leaders in the Bible. So, as always, before we get into it, let's do a quick prayer. Father in heaven, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for life, the ability to learn, to read, and to apply wisdom. I pray as we read these words that our lives be changed, and that from the inside out we are transformed into your likeness. In Jesus' name, amen. So, starting at verse 1, it says, "These are also the Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height, and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. For it is better that it be said unto thee, Come up hither, than thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have seen. Go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor hath put thee to shame." This one's interesting here. So, I like the admonition here to be patient, not to go forth too hastily. But when thy neighbor put thee to shame, I try to understand this one a bit deeper at times, and I think there's something more it's saying that I haven't necessarily cracked the code on, but it does stand out to me that it's saying to be patient and not to be too hasty to then have to be in a situation where you are being reproved. So, or put to shame. Moving on, verse 9. "Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another." I think that's critical there, just to confront a matter and don't go around the back. "Lest he that heareth it put thee to shame, and thine infamy turn not away. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pitchers of silver." These are some of my favorite verses in the Proverbs, because I just love the Proverbs that is really focusing on the right words spoken at the right time are of great value, to the extent of the apples of gold, the right word at the right time. And that's a prayer that I have. God, put the right words in my mouth and speak the right things at the right time for your glory. Verse 12, "As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refresheth the soul of his masters. Whoso boasteth himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomited." What is honey in this context? Here we have a question. "Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomited." So eat as what is necessary. Don't or consume what is necessary, not to the extent of which you need not. That's what I see there. Interesting. So verse 17, "Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee, and so hate thee." Another interesting verse here that has to do with neighbors. "A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul, and a sword, and a sharp arrow." Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. He that taketh away a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon nitre, so is he that singeth songs to an heavy heart. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For the Lord shall heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. For the north wind driveth away rain, so doth an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. It is better to dwell on the corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. That's a interesting one as well. Always say Proverbs has these interesting verses about women that are difficult, and I have to wonder why Solomon wrote those, or what experience he had, or the deeper message there. But you're the corner of a housetop. So all my sisters out there, don't be a brawling woman, I guess. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. Good news. I think good news is something that we need more of in today's time. It's so easy to dwell on the bad news. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain in a corrupt spring. It is not good to eat much honey. Here we have honey again. So for men to search for their own glory is not glory. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken and without walls. My spirit was leading me toward really as cold water from a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. But as I think a bit more, now I think verse 28 is the start of the show, which I've read numerous times, but I think it for the day as well. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. We must develop a rule over our spirits, and I think this is a necessity to become the people that God needs us to be. So I pray this day 6 has been a blessing, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we go through Proverbs 26, which is going to be on observations about fools. So let us touch on that tomorrow. Until then, God bless. Bye.